And we are live. Okay, let's raise this up a little bit. Okay, welcome in everyone. Welcome in. Who is joining me live? Welcome in, ladies. Just give me a second here. I am trying to get my microphone set up, and we'll get started. Okay, I think I can just turn on. Hello. Okay, we are live. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I'm so excited to see you. Okay, maybe stop singing. Okay. So welcome in, ladies, welcome in. Who is joining me live this beautiful Monday evening? So welcome in, ladies. I am super happy to spend this time with you. If you're joining me from Facebook, type Team FB. One day I'm going to get that word right. Type Team FB. And if you're joining me from LinkedIn, type Team LK. So one of you sent me a suggestion, because last week I was looking for a suggestion to call the folks on LinkedIn. And I think Team LK, I loved it when she said, Team LK, AB, what about Team LK? I'm like, yeah, that works. So if you're watching from LinkedIn, type Team LK. I am so happy to be here because we do have a very interesting topic today, ladies. And I get this question asked a lot. And oftentimes when I have some questions asked a lot from me, I feel like if one person, two people, three people, four people are asking the same thing, then pretty much majority of people are struggling with it. Okay, but before I get into today's topic, let me introduce myself. If this is the first time that you are seeing a video of mine, watching a reel of mine, reading a post of mine, my name is Avi, and I am a life coach, and I help women, professional women who are feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, burned out. So I work with them to get to a place of peace, fulfillment, balance, more energy, more money, more time, more better health. So I help them get to that place. And so today's topic was actually submitted by someone that I know, and essentially they were asking me, AB, so all of the stress management strategies and manage stress and all that stuff is great. Well, she didn't say it like that. It's just AB doing the thing. It's all great. It's all good. But what happens when you are in a state or a place where your schedules are demanding? So for example, if you work in a very high pressure role where you don't have time, you have back-to-back meetings. If you are someone in management position, you have board meetings, you have this meeting, that meeting, then you have to go home, go do your second job, take care of your family, take care of your partner, take care of your parents. There's no time, there's no space for me. So how am I supposed to prioritize myself and manage stress and recharge when you can clearly see that I don't have the space? I don't have the space. And I love that. Oh, when women tell me that, I'm like, now we're talking. Okay. Amy, don't get too excited yet. All right. So today we're going to be talking about how to recharge your body and avoid being burnt out and stressed out, even with your demanding schedule, even with the lack of space and time and energy. Because sometimes some women tell me they have time, but they don't have the energy because they're so drained from all of the things that they have to do that they don't have mentally, they don't have the capacity to even want to engage in behaviors that will help them manage stress. So for some others, it's physical. For some others, it's mental. But for majority of women, it's both. Because your mental actually affects your physical, and your physical affects your mental. So mind and body are connected. Okay? So before we start talking into the things that you can do, let's talk a little bit about, by the way, ladies, if I'm looking down, my notes are here. Let's talk about what are some of the blocks. Because the scenario that I just gave you is the reality for a lot of women, especially those who are moms or in committed relationships. That is their reality, and that's fact. So what do you do, and what are some of the things that are stopping you because of your current reality? Okay, so normally when women tell me things like that, like, AB, I have this, I have that, and I don't have space, when I work with them, one of the underlying thoughts that they have about managing stress and managing your wellness is that they think self-care is expensive, or self-care is for people that don't have demanding schedules. So they think that self-care would take too much time to do, therefore, look at their life. There's no time, so it cannot be done. And I go, lady, let's talk. Because the thought that self-care and slowing down is for people that don't have a demanding schedule. I have a very demanding schedule. I have clients that have demanding schedule. But we still take time for self-care because it's a non-negotiable. It's not like there's nothing you can do to convince me not to care for myself unless I'm physically incapable. Then that's the only thing, right? Why? Because it's non-negotiable. Let's talk about where we hear this self-care equals luxury, because that's really what we're saying. When we say, AB, I don't have the time and space, I'm so busy, and I'm going to give you techniques that you can use. I use them. And I'm going to give you techniques that you can use. But it's good to understand where that's coming from. When we say, AB, I'm so busy, I cannot do this. AB, what you're actually saying is that, AB, look, in the grand scheme of things, I am not important enough to slow down. Therefore, I cannot take the time to do certain things to raise my well-being. That's what you're saying. I know it doesn't sound like that when you're putting up the excuses, not because they're not true. Remember that. There's always a reason not to do something. So all the scenarios that you've given me is true. But when you continue to put up those reasons, this is what your brain is hearing. AB is not the one saying this. This is the message your brain is taking. Okay, we are not important. Therefore, let's shelve this away, shelve us away, and continue to live a life where we operate from less importance, and we put people ahead of us, and we put people on a pedestal, and we do everything for everybody else. Not because we're trying to be altruistic, or not because we're trying to be kind, or not because we're trying to be good people, but we genuinely do not believe that we are worthy of taking 5 to 10 minutes to do for us. We believe it on a subconscious level. We believe it on a biological level. We believe it in all areas. That's what you're saying to your mind, your body, each time you put up the reasons that you cannot slow down, that you cannot take time to engage in healthy behaviors to pour into you. I know it sounds hard because sometimes I feel like, look, you guys know me. You know me very well, and I love you. Everything that I do is from a place of love. Sometimes it may come across as being harsh, but I also know that the women that are able to connect with my energy, you guys don't like fluff. I've been told one of the reasons why you love my videos is because I'm straight to the point and I just tell it as it is. And part of that reason is because I have experienced all of these things that you guys are telling me. I've done like 100 of it, times 100. So I've experienced it, and I know what comes with that. And so it goes against my integrity to come here and sugarcoat it for you, like, yeah, that's okay, yeah, that's fine, that's okay. I cannot do that, because I've been through it and I live that reality. And the problem with having that line of thought that self-care is a luxury, aka you are not good enough for self-care. That's what you're saying. If you can repeat that line, I am not good, I don't believe I'm good enough for self-care, that's what you're saying. If you repeat that line and you're okay with this, please turn off my videos, because I guarantee you my work is not for you. But if you are able to say that and you start to feel sick in you, you start to feel like your body is giving you signals that there's something wrong with that, that's a sign that change is coming for you. That's a sign that your body's not okay with the way you're operating and it wants you to change. So when next you encounter a scenario, you've dropped your kids off at school, you're at work, you have back-to-back meetings, and you have scheduled time to, whether it's journaling, whether it's doing some exercise, and the reasons come up, say, we don't have time. Put there, we don't have time because I'm not good enough to pour into myself. Say it like that. Because the more you do, you're going to start getting the reality of what you're actually doing. And when that reality is clear, because when I tell women, these are like, oh my gosh, I didn't see it that way. I'm like, yeah, we don't, because there's this whole glamour on putting aside your needs and, being a mad-eye, which I can understand why that is the case. There are evolutionary reasons for this, for altruism and whatnot, but not at the detriment of your health. And I'm not saying that you cannot volunteer, you cannot do things for other people. I'm here talking to you guys. Why? Because I've given myself the space to do things, to pour into me. And so I'm able to then come and show up from you guys and pour into you. And when I'm done, I'm going to do my thing to recharge and refuel. So there's no, let's leave out that, maybe it's narcissism, maybe it's selfish, like that's not the case. And I will tell you why you're thinking that way, because we have been programmed to think like that. Okay? So this whole thing of looking at self-care like a luxury, where did it come from? Let's talk about that. Girls, let's have real conversations here. Okay? I'm going to be checking the time because I'm becoming much more, I want to make sure that I'm respecting your time and also keeping it succinct so that we can get all we need and then go back to our day-to-day. So let's talk a little bit about where this whole self-care equals luxury, self-care, I don't have time. It's because when we were growing up, especially, if you grew up with a mom, one of the reasons is that we saw our moms in roles where it was all about others and not themselves. And they told us the same thing. It's all about others and not themselves. If you went to church or you belonged to a religious body, some of us may have picked up that information from there, which, love your neighbor as yourself is the mantra for me, but we seem to forget as yourself and just focus on love your neighbor. So there are different places where we picked that up. And even in movies, when we see women that are looking absolutely gorgeous, well taken care of, they portray the woman as a self-centered, narcissistic person. And so we pick up that notion that it's not good to be a kind of woman that looks well taken care for. We pick up the notion that it's better to be someone who's haggard looking and looking unkept, because that way that shows that you're putting aside your needs for the good of everyone else, which makes you a hero. But then the reality is that there are consequences for living like that. And one of the consequences is your health. You will lose your health, right? Another consequence, especially if you're in position of your management position, another consequence is your livelihood. You are much, much more likely to be terminated or fired if you show signs that you cannot manage stress. If you're a woman in leadership, did you know that? Because studies have been shown that there were certain cues that people, in fact, if you're a woman in leadership, studies have shown that you are much more there's much more scrutiny on you, right? And so if you start to show signs that you cannot manage stress, the likelihood of you being terminated is higher. And so it's not just about your health, because sometimes women don't get it. Your money is gone. Let's not even talk about your personal relationships, which are also gone, because if it's affecting your health, it's going to affect the way you relate with people, because you're not going to be able to show up. So that too is gone. So there's a price to pay. If you feel like that's a good enough price, then that's fine. But the women who come to me and they're like, I don't understand what's going on. I cannot breathe. And then they start to understand how this whole I cannot take time for myself doesn't work. It's not working. But if you don't understand where that's coming from, that it's going to be harder to engage in behaviors that I'm going to teach you and help you start the process to be able to stay consistent with them and do them. Okay? All right. So now that we've understood where all of this is too much, no space, now that we've understood that what you're actually saying is you do not believe you're good enough. You do not believe that you're good enough to actually take time for yourself. That's what you're saying. So typically when you have that thought, your body is going to do everything that it can to make that situation true for you. It will cause you to take on more than you should. It will cause you to say things where people will start to treat you like someone that isn't good enough to take time for themselves. So they'll give you more than you should, even though that you know you can't handle it. I know, we say this person is hurting me, but many times we attract that. How do we attract that? We have it and we believe that that's how we should be treated, and the world just responds to that. So to reverse all of that, the first thing is understanding that self-care and taking time to slow down is not a luxury that people who don't have demanding schedules enjoy. That's the first step. It's a non-negotiable. I want you to write that down. AB, how can I recharge my body? Recharging your body has to become a non-negotiable. Would you get out of the house without brushing your teeth? No. Why? Because it's a non-negotiable. Why is it a non-negotiable? Because you wouldn't be able to speak if you don't brush your teeth. That's how you need to see recharging your body. It's a non-negotiable. A non-negotiable. What is a non-negotiable? A non-negotiable is a value that you have prioritized as something that is so critical to your physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual health. Okay? First step, make recharging your body a non-negotiable. Even if you have a busy schedule, we'll get to the next step. I'll teach you how to manage that. But that's the first step. So write it down. Recharging my body is a non-negotiable. Second step. Because you're in this place where it's so hard, maybe there's no space, we are going to start small. Because when we start small and you see success, you're going to get the internal lever, the internal push to want to do more of that. Your body is going to release hormones that makes you feel good each time you do that small thing, that you will want to continue to do it. Okay? So what are examples of things that you can start small with your tight schedule, no space, back-to-back meetings, school runs, cooking, cleaning? What are the examples of things that you can start to do? Okay. So one of the very first things that I love to do and I teach women to do is practicing what we call micro recharges at certain points during your day. Okay? So what are just give me a second here. What are micro recharges? So these are situations that you have set aside. These are time or events or places, whatever, that you have set aside to recharge your body in that busy schedule. And one of the very first effective ways that you can micro recharge is breathing techniques. So 2 to 5 minute breathing techniques. It will change your life. Why breathing techniques and recharging, how do they connect? All right, let's talk about it. I just love this. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is like my high. All right. So when you are in that state of mind, or when you are in that place where you are like stressed out, there's so much to do, there's no time, this one is asking this one is complaining, this one is that, you have to handle, you have to put out fires, one meeting to the next meeting, no space, they're booking back-to-back meetings. When you're in that place of mind where you just feel so stressed out, the studies have shown that the only thing that you have control in that point is your breath. Because what's happening is that your body is monitoring the breath, so the way that you're breathing. And if you're breathing a certain way, it's taking that information and it's using that information to talk to other parts of your body. Okay, so what that means is if you're breathing very shallow, like kind of like when you're running, right? Very shallow. What that is going to do to your body is it's going to tell the body that, look, there's a threat right now. We need to save her. There's a threat. Pump more glucose into the blood because she needs to run. Okay? So the way, the mechanism that you have to control that, because once the body perceives there's a threat, it's going to automatically try to respond to that. That's the fight or flight that we talk about. So the way you can control that response is to breathe. Take deep breathing, where you're breathing from your diaphragm, from your belly, in and out. And so by doing this, so 2 to 5 minutes, where you breathe in, you pause, and then you exhale, what that's doing is that your body is going to receive that breath, and it's going to know that, okay, we should be calm. If she's breathing like this, it means that the threat has left, so we can calm down. When it's in a state of calm, now it can start to recharge itself. And so what you will notice is that you start to feel much more energized. You will also start to feel much more, your mood will improve as well. Your mood will improve. You start to feel much more stable, less anxious. Because now your body is in that place where it's calming down and relaxing. So a different part of your nervous system has been triggered. I'm trying not to make it too complicated for you guys, but I hope that's clear. So this is where breath comes in. Even when I'm talking to you guys, if you notice, I have a pace that I move. I have a certain pace that I move. If I was in a state of stress when I was talking to you guys, this is how I will be talking. I will be taking short breaths. And I used to talk like that years ago. And then a family member of mine saw my video, and she's like, how did you learn to start talking the way you do? I said, what do you mean? She says, like, you talk very slowly and calmly. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. And then I started doing some research, and they're like, oh, okay, because I'm not stressed out, so my pace is slower. And so I'm able to talk slower because my pace is slower. And so this is what doing breath exercises, 2 to 5 minutes. Do you want to tell me that you don't have 2 to 5 minutes? You do. Okay? So if you are at work and you are noticing that you're going to enter a meeting that's going to stress you out, whether somebody's asking you for something you haven't done, go to just on your seat. If this is your cubicle, sit there and just breathe in, pause for like a second, and exhale. Do that for like 5 to 10 times so that you can be calm when you enter that meeting. Think of it this way: no matter what you do, what will happen will happen. You don't have control, but you have control on how you respond. And when women are in a place where they are relaxed and calm, people will pick up on that and people will treat you differently. Do you know why? Let me tell you why. So studies have shown that your stress is actually transferable. So when you are stressed out, there's a hormone that the body releases to manage the effects of stress. It's called cortisol, and it's actually transferable. So if you're standing in the presence of someone that is extremely stressed out, it's going to be transferred from them to you. And what you notice is all of a sudden now, you're being stressed out and you don't even know why. And so when you go into meetings and you're stressed out, people in that meeting are going to pick up on that stress level that's affecting you. That's going to alter the way they will respond to you. That's going to alter the way they will treat you. I know, women get shocked when they hear this. They're like, oh my gosh, AB, all this why I was thinking is they don't like me, and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying that it's not possible that people don't like you and all that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that when you learn to manage yourself, even somebody that doesn't like you, they'll treat you with respect because you are embodying respectful behavior. So they will have no choice but to treat you with respect. They don't have to like you to respect you. Is that making sense? Good. Good. Especially if you're in a leadership position, listen up. Because we spend so much, women are very intelligent. This is why I always have to say this on my videos, because sometimes it's like, women will be like, but AB, we still have to prove ourselves and all that stuff. You don't talk about that. And I'm like, I am not going to come here and disrespect you by telling you that, oh, you should do more at work to try to prove yourself. Because what am I indirectly trying to say? I'm indirectly trying to say that you're not capable, so therefore you have to continue to prove because you're not capable. I'm not going to disrespect you like that. Come on. So I already assume that you are completely capable, excellent, magnificent, or whatever you do. I already assume that. How do I know that? Because if you were not, you wouldn't have a problem of managing stress or taking on too much. People wouldn't be giving you so much if they did not think you were capable. That's another thing. That's another way that I know too. Okay? So I don't talk about that because the problem that we have is that women are too capable. That's the problem now. It's great to be capable, but when it's not managed properly, it will erode your own health and life will keep going. Life will keep going. Okay? So to reiterate, what are some of the things that you can start to do today, even with your busy schedule, no space, no time? Yes, that's true. Nobody's arguing that. But today, start incorporating breathing micro recharges. One of them is short breathing exercises, 2 to 5 minutes. Breathe in, pause, breathe out, and say hello to your body. Because that's another way I love to do that. When I'm having a moment where I'm feeling stressed out or something like that, and I just move away, I sit and take time to breathe in and out, I talk to myself. I'm like, "AB, are you okay?" I think you guys have seen me do that. I've done it on camera. If something's going on and I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable, I talk to myself. "AB, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, I'm okay." I do that a lot because this keeps me in contact with my buddy. I need to know what's going on because she's done so much for me. So I need to take care of her. And I can only take care of something that I know. So I listen. And these are ways that you can start to listen to your buddy. Okay? All right. Another thing that I like to do is, so I talked about one of the reasons why many women struggle with this is because they think that self-care is negotiable, is a luxury. And the reason why they think that is deep down, if you actually dig deeper, what they believe is that they are not good enough to reserve time for themselves. I know. I used to be that way. That's really it. They're not good enough. So every other thing else is more important than them. So the next thing as you breathe in is to make non-negotiables every day. Create certain self-care habits that are completely non-negotiable. So what is a non-negotiable? I said, for example, brushing your teeth is a non-negotiable, right? You're not going to go out with, not fancy breath. So create things like that are non-negotiable. This breathing exercise, the 2 to 5 minutes breathing exercise that I just talked about, this technique is so, like, if you guys knew what was going on in your body when you do this, you live longer. Make it a non-negotiable. When you are about to implode at work because you're so stressed out, or at home, you want to explode on your kids, the reason you're wanting to do that is because you're in a state where you are so, like, you are fighting war. And so making things non-negotiable will help you manage that. So make this self-care habits, I'm going to give you more, make them a non-negotiable. This means that when the excuse that I have back-to-back meetings, reframe that statement, because I like to work with the brain, okay? The brain is like, we have back-to-back meetings, self-care is a luxury. So what I started doing when I started working with clients was, and I started doing it in my life first, and I was like, this thing changed my life. Because I used to make all the excuses, I had all of them, like, let's not go into that, but adding what I call an and statement. So, gosh, I need to pick up my kids from school. How am I supposed to get my exercise done if, I'm supposed to do that? Like, I have back-to-back meetings and I'm going to get some exercise done. Gosh, I have a meeting at 10, a meeting at 11, a meeting at 12, 1, 2, 3. Whew. And I'm going to spend 2 to 5 minutes to breathe, to practice my breathing exercise. Gosh, I have to make dinner. I have to do this with my kids. I have to do this with my partner. And I'm going to spend 5 to 10 minutes to journal. What am I doing? See, I'm not fighting with you guys because I like things easy. Like, let it be easy. Okay? So it would be a lot harder for you guys to try to go against what you've already known for 20, 30, 40 years. And so I read it somewhere where if you can actually work with where you are right now, it's going to be easier to change that behavior. And ring-a-ding-ding, welcome the and statement. So when I have an excuse not to do something and I really want to do it, what I say is the excuse and the thing I have to do. So my brain agrees with me that the excuse is there. I'm not having mental gymnastics on that. There's no dissonance in there. And the thing that I want to do gets highlighted in my brain as well. So the brain is like, okay, yeah, this is the situation, and we're going to do that thing. And that is going to generate the emotions and the feelings that you need to act. it changed my life. It changed the lives of my clients. And I'm happy to share with you guys. So whenever that excuse, whatever the excuse is, you're pregnant, that's a real excuse. You're pregnant. What else? What is like you just had surgery? Well, I'm thinking of the worst, somebody just died. Like that's, or you almost died. Whatever the worst case scenario is. And I'm going to spend 5 to 10 minutes to journal. So decide what is a non-negotiable self-care habit. 1 or 2. Don't make it 1 or 2. Your brain cannot focus on more than 1 or 2 things at a time anyways. So don't make it more than 2. Pick 1. Start with 1. 5 to 10 minutes. What is that one thing that is going to be a non-negotiable? For me, it's exercising. It's a non-negotiable. I cannot be convinced out of not working out. Like, there's nothing you can do. If it's to do it in my car, I'll do it in my car. I'll find something to do it in my car, but it's a non-negotiable. So create what that is for you. Could be exercise, 5 to 10 minutes, journaling, walking, the breathing exercise. I think you should make that because that will change your life. And it's free and it's easy and the benefits are completely magnificent. It will change it will recharge you. Okay? Make that a non-negotiable. All right? Okay. And the final thing, I hope this is not too long. I don't want it to be too long. Okay. The final thing that I was going to add is understand that everything that I've talked about it's like a transformation. You're beginning a process of transformation. Like you've been one way, a certain way. It takes time to change. It takes time. It doesn't have to take the longest time, but it will take time to change. Certain wiring and circuits in you need to be formed. So the brain needs time to start to make those changes. So when you try one day and you miss the next day, don't go into, oh, this is the worst thing, I can never do this. That's not going to help you. I know that's the natural way to want to do that, but that's not going to help you. So miss one day, continue the next day. And then I will even challenge you, why did you miss that day? Is it because you didn't feel good? Because that's a common reason. Start to, again, if it's a non-negotiable, then even when it doesn't feel good, you still do it because it's a non-negotiable. Okay? And if you're in a place where you are completely struggling with just your life because you're so stressed out, you're so burnt out, like you don't even know where to start. Even the things that I talked about now, it just feels so overwhelming, like you don't know where to start. This is the work that I help women with. Okay, so reach out to me. Let's have a conversation on how we can get you to a place where you're no longer feeling overwhelmed. You are able to manage the stressors or the things that are causing you to stress out. You are pretty much securing your employability by demonstrating your ability to manage stressful situations at work, therefore securing your livelihood as well, especially if you're single and you don't have someone who's going to provide for you. Okay? Reach out to me, let's have a conversation, and we will get you to a state where you feel calm and peace and less stressed. Okay? But if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Oh, I do have an announcement. So we have a wonderful, oh my gosh, excellent financial advisor who's coming to talk to us in the group on Friday at 7:30. So I'm going to put the event and I'm going to invite you guys for it. It's going to be taking place in my Level Up Professional Women's group. She's going to talk to us about financial stress and how to manage that, how to manage if you're in a place where you are having a lot of financial stress or financial crisis. I asked, you guys told me that that's something that you're struggling with. So I went to find someone and she's coming to talk to us. And she's going to give you guys a bunch of rich information. Oh my gosh, when I heard her talk, it changed my life. And I'm so happy that she's agreed out of her generous generous schedule to come talk to you guys. So she's going to be coming in on Friday at 7:30. I'm going to put all of the details so that you guys can see that and join that. Take advantage of it, okay? This is your time to shine. 2025 is starting in the next 10 weeks. I'm going to do my best to provide the resources that you guys need to be able to build resilience and become a better woman, a better person for your family and friends and your coworkers. I'm going to do my best, okay? So I recommend that you take advantage of it, all right? But other than that, ladies, I will see you on Friday with our wonderful financial advisor. Her name is Santasia. So we're going to have fun with her. And she's just so intelligent and amazing. But other than that, I will see you guys later. Bye.